New York diplomatic facilities at the United Nations and the French mission and consulate. More security, too, in Chicago for the consulate there, and more police presence at the consulate in Atlanta.
The French government has asked for additional security at its embassy here in Washington, and in response, the Secret Service has stepped up patrols.
Police nationwide have been urged to be extra vigilant in response to the Paris shooting, but there's been no security directive from federal authorities and no change in the terror threat level. That's largely because U.S. officials see the attack in Paris as an act of retribution, like a mob hit, some officials say, with no connection between the terrorists in Paris and anyone here. U.S. officials say they sympathize with the French government, which has revealed that the two suspects were known to police and had been under surveillance. American officials say the U.S. faces the same challenge, trying to keep tabs on a growing number of terror suspects here. Ron Hosko, a former FBI assistant director, says conducting secret surveillance is very manpower intensive.
Free speech won't bow to terrorism. From the streets of Paris, no fear it reads, to this vigilant Sydney, where Australians sang the French national anthem. At the Washington Post,
it felt like an attack on me and my work.
Pulitzer Prize-winning political cartoonist Tom Tolles' first reaction to the Paris shooting was shock, then anger, and finally action. The finished product? But the pen will endure, he writes.
I wanted to take the tools I use and speak immediately to that, and as forcefully as I could.
Like any good image, most of today's cartoons didn't need a caption. This from Lucille Clerk, where a broken pencil becomes two, James McLeod of the Evansville Courier and Press, Darren Bell of the Washington Post Writers Group, the rallying cry, Je suis Charlie, I am Charlie, from French artist Jean Julien to a British magazine, The Rocking Vicar. The message indelible on social media, too. The Philadelphia Inquirer's Signe Wilkinson.
Cartoons don't kill people. Humorless fanatics kill people.
On late-night TV, Jon Stewart's humor took a pause.
I know very few people go into comedy, as an act of courage. But those guys at Hedbo had it, and they were killed for their cartoons.
The pen is mightier than the sword was first written more than a century ago, but those words have renewed meaning today. Peter Alexander, NBC News, Washington.